What's up, everybody? Josh or Miho here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the new album from the band Watain, entitled The Wild Hunt. This is released on Century Media Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Sweden, and for the better part of the last decade plus or so, this has been a band that has been making a lot of noise and movement within the black metal scene, both overseas and in the United States. And in my opinion, this band has put out some incredible black metal. Of course, this is a band that has both positive feedback and its detractors, but yet this band gets people talking. Regardless of whatever they're doing, they're always going to get people talking. The first time I ever heard of this band was back in 2010 with their fourth full-length entitled Lawless Darkness. That was the first time I ever heard of Watain. And it was one of those albums that I really liked at first, but then with due time, I eventually began to love it and respect it. I thought that album had such amazing songs. I mean, Waters of Watain, probably one of the most epic songs ever crafted and created, in my opinion. I thought that album as a whole was just incredible. And going back, looking into this band's earlier works, I mean, their debut, Rabid Death's Curse, Causus Luciferi, and Sworn to the Dark. All of those albums I thought were great in their own respective rights. I mean, I liked Sworn to the Dark more than anything, but Lawless Darkness is, to me, this band's highest achievement. And of course, I saw them live in 2012 for the first Decibel magazine tour with Behemoth, In Solitude, and The Devil's Blood. Watain were amazing, and they put on a fantastic live set. This is also another one of those bands that has a very high art when it comes to theatrics and imagery. Just the way they look, the way the stage is set up, the way everything looks, feels, even smells. It has that kind of atmosphere, and it's very much entertaining, to say the least. And these guys put on a great show. When I first heard that Watain got signed to Century Media, I was very much surprised. Well, not so much surprised, but I was looking forward to seeing what kind of progression this band was going to take, considering they're following up a great record like Lawless Darkness. And the first couple of tracks that got released off of this album, preferably All That May Bleed and The Child Must Die, I preferred The Child Must Die over All That May Bleed, and I thought both those songs were good, but it only made me wonder if there were going to be songs that were going to be even better. So I decided to pick this up, give it many multiple listens, and here we are. It's 11 tracks, and it clocks in at around 63 minutes in length. And I like the fact that this album starts off very ominous and moody with the opening intro, Night Vision. There's some great musicianship being done on that opening intro. I just love the way that everything feels, the way everything is being set up into place. And then when you get onto De Profundis, and all the way from there, you're going to be on another very interesting journey. To me, there are songs on here that are definitely a lot better than other particular songs on this album, but as a whole, this is the kind of record that Watain wanted to do, and because of that, I respect them for wanting to be daring and creative. And with The Wild Hunt, they've delivered a record that's going to get people talking. Whether it be in a positive or negative connotation, The Wild Hunt is definitely something that's going to get people talking. But what did I think of it? Well, let me break this album down as best as I possibly can for you. The guitar work on here, as per usual Watain record, is very, very good sounding. Watain are a band that definitely class themselves on high production values, and with The Wild Hunt, they continue on that kind of pathway. I really enjoy the way the guitars are being played, the way the riffs are done, the tremolos, the leads, the riffs. When you hear some of the riffs being done on this record, I think it's great stuff. Very epic and cinematic in vibe and quality. Take De Profundis and Black Flames March. Just some great guitar work to be heard on those particular tracks. I enjoy the songwriting styles. I enjoyed the interplay. I enjoy the chords. Just a lot of great stuff to be heard. Even later on down the album to tracks like They Rode On, the title track, and even the closing track, Holocaust Dawn. You get some incredible guitar work being done here. I definitely think the guitar is the major highlight and standout for me of this record. Bass-wise, I think the bass has a really good tone for it. I enjoy the way the bass is played. I enjoy just the overall tone and feeling of the bass. I think it's a great bass performance. It's audible, it's clear. Like the guitar, it has a very good production value to it. It's a more guitar-heavy record than anything else, but I think the bass has its nice solid moments as well. The drums are also amazing. Pretty much keeping in line with the last Watain record, Lawless Darkness. I think the drums sound fantastic. I love the way that they're played. Just the drum fills, the blast beats. Just a very good drum performance. I'm really enjoying the patterns. I'm enjoying the fills, the blast beats. It's all great throughout the record, even to the slower, more methodical moments, like the track They Rode On. That track has probably some of the epic qualities that you remembered from Lawless Darkness. I mean, if you go back to songs like Malfader or even Waters of Ain, you hear some great drum work being done here. Some more slow, almost heavy metal-esque type of drum performance. And that's another thing about the drums. I don't think this album particularly stays within black metal. I think it has its own unique, daring kind of qualities. It can venture outside of black metal to become more along the lines of heavy metal or traditional metal. It's very good, and I love the way that the drums sound on this album. And of course we get to the vocals. It's the typical Watain vocal performance. You already know how he sounds. Very raspy, very throaty, very commanding. He definitely showcases that on De Profundis. There's a little bit of that echoed reverb type of quality when you hear him shout and scream on that particular track. I honestly like it better when I hear his voice naturally, as opposed with the addition of certain effects. I think his voice on its own is a lot better than having his voice altered or anything like that. I think when you hear his voice by itself, it's great. And going back to They Rode On, this is probably the one part of the record that surprised me and took me for a loop. He does some clean singing. I was like, what the hell? And then as I got further onto the song, I began to appreciate him doing something different by doing clean singing. I honestly don't know how some people may react to that, but I think in the case of They Rode On, I think his vocals are great for that particular song. Just how epic and cinematic it is. I enjoyed his cleans. And more likely than anything, I enjoyed his growls and his anger in the growling as opposed to singing. But for what it is, I think his vocal performance is awesome here. So overall, do I like this album more than I do Lawless Darkness? No, I don't. But as a standalone kind of album, I think The Wild Hunt definitely succeeds in doing what it wants to do. I think this won't be to everybody's tastes, but if you want to give this a try, please go ahead and do so. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, you have better things to listen to anyways. Watain did what they wanted to do with this album, and I think standalone, I think it's awesome. Do I think this is definitely top 20, top 10 material? I'm really not too sure of that, but it's an opinion. What can you do? But if you're a Watain fan, definitely give this a shot. If you like it, good. If you don't, move along. That's all I can really say. If I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say De Profundis, Black Flames March, They Rode On, the title track, The Wild Hunt, and the closing track, Holocaust Dawn. The two instrumentals that are on this album are pretty good. Yeah, you can definitely pick this album up wherever it's sold. It's available in a jewel case. I got this little digibook edition. I have the version of Lawless Darkness with the die-cut sleeve, so I figured why not get this version here in the media book format with the booklet and lyrics and artwork and CD and all that good stuff. Definitely something to invest in if you're a Watain fan. So I'm going to show you the album again. This is The Wild Hunt by Watain. This is released on Century Media Records. Go check this out if you want. And as far as the score is concerned, I'm going to give this a solid 8 out of 10. Very good album in my opinion. Not the best thing they've put out, but who knows? This might grow with me with time. But anyway, give it a shot if you want to try the Wild Hunt by Watain. I think it's awesome. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. And until the next time, Miho out.